Hey everyone, and welcome to the Unreal Engine weekly live stream. We are back from GDC. Finally, it seems like forever.
You're back.
Well, I'm back. Alexander's been here taking care of everything for us while we're away, so thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
You are welcome.
All right, so it's good to see you all again. I'm your community manager, Chance Ivey. I'm here with engine support tech Alexander Paschall. You've probably seen him on AnswerHub, the forums, online, all the other places.
Just a little famous.
Support
just a little
streams,
famous.
training streams, all the things, right? So we've got a special guest with us today. It's our friends Elite Motion. We got Kate and Adrian. They're coming in on Skype, so if you see all these extra new wires and things hanging from us in here, it's because we're testing out some new tech, seeing how well it'll work. It might all blow up on us, but we hope not. We hope that it's gonna go well. So with that, we'll have them on here. We'll have them talk over some stuff with the integration and where we can get started with some stuff. But first, let's hop over to the news. Joe, can we head to the monitor, please? So unless you haven't opened the internet in the last few days, oh, I've lost my mouse. There we go. Great. Unless you haven't opened the internet in the last few days, you probably know that we've made Unreal Engine free for subscribers. So subscription cost is now gone. Anybody can hop in and get started today. Same terms with royalties apply. So you can come to the website right now. The first blog up there has got a really great message from Tim. You can find out all the answers, everything that you might want to know about the program, and the changes are all available there.
Yay!
Hooray! Yeah, so we're really happy to get the tools into more people's hands. It's really awesome. When we made the subscription available last year, it just grew so much, and so now we're just really excited to get this into everybody else's hands as well. So.
Yeah, it's a very exciting time for everyone here at Epic.
Oh yeah, the buzz around here post GDC has just been really awesome.
Oh yeah, we're all stoked.
So with that too, NVIDIA has also opened up the physics code to UE4 developers. So an unprecedented move by those dudes. We've got some really great. If you want to get your graphics programming on, then feel free to hop in and check that out as well. Also on our blog, you can find out more information there where to get started. So let's see. Oh yeah, so we had a number of streams last week. We didn't have we did have a Thursday live stream, but we also had a number of other things that came across as well. So you'll see all of these talks heading to YouTube hopefully in the next few days. We had Tim's keynote, some talks on the open worlds. We had a panel that I moderated with some of our great Unreal 4 developers, and town hall, and then there's a bunch of talks from the floor that Alexander was watching. I haven't even seen them yet because I was at the show.
Oh yeah, they were fantastic. Just getting to watch Zach get out there and Alan Noon go out with the tank demo and stuff. They're fantastic, and we're trying to get those up. YouTube.
Pretty soon. Joe can comment more on that, but he's quiet right now. So, so watch out for a lot more video coming very soon. Also, the Unreal Dev Grants program, we've announced the very first winners for that. So they were announced at the show on the Thursday live stream. We had Kula, the project Neuron, and Dead Static Drive. Three great projects that we think got a lot of potential, a lot of promise. You can check out more information about them on our website as well on the blog. Really cool stuff. There's videos, all kinds of great information there. We ran into both Jake from Neuron and Mike from Dead Static Drive on the floor, so it's really cool to get to chat with those guys and kind of see what they're working on in real time.
Wow.
All right, let's see where we're going next. Oh yeah, so over to some learning resources. We've got a lot of new stuff. Lauren sent this over to me today. There's a new Unreal Engine 4 terminology page. It's like, what do we call what and why? You can find out a lot of information on this page there. Also, you might notice a hot new sidebar over there that's got a great documentation nav for your eye holes. So hopefully better organization there. Give us feedback on that. Let us know what you think. We're growing it out. Jeff is he's in the chat right now dropping all these links. You can give all your feedback directly to Jeff and he will make all your dreams come true. Sorry, Jeff. I can throw that out there. But terminology page is up, and we've got a new introduction to C++ programming page as well. Let's see what's next. Oh yeah, Easy Things Are Easy series of video tutorials. There's just blueprint jumpstart guides. So like how to make destructible meshes, camera shakes, how to use timers, color gradient, slow motion effects, things like that. So you'll be able to find all that up there as well. There's a new tools and editors guide that kind of goes over each of the individual tools. You can hop into anything and find out more and more information. So if you're working in a specific part of the tools, you want to know a little bit more, this is a great new resource for you to go in and dive a little deeper on anything you might be trying to do. Oh, and an endless run prototype. There's another video series that came out. I just can't keep up with these guys, man.
Yeah, there's so much coming out all at once, and this is really like a lot of fun. I actually got to check this one out a little bit myself, and it's really great if you're just getting started and you're sitting around like, oh, I want to make a game, but I don't know what kind of game I want to make. And then this is just, by the end of it, you know enough to make the kind of game you've always wanted to make.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, except for that MMORPG you've always dreamed of.
Everyone's still waiting for the make MMO button, right?
There's so many plugins coming. I actually think that's going to happen.
Actually, yeah, that's true. Some of the stuff that's coming on Marketplace. All right, one thing real quick I forgot to drop in here earlier, but we've announced the March Game Jam. So next week we're kicking off the March Game Jam. We're a week behind because of GDC, not only in the Game Jam, but in other ways as well. But this is coming across, I guess we're kicking off on Thursday, and then Sunday night we will drop the bar for submissions, and then we'll show them on this. We're going to aim to show them on the stream on the 26th. Last time we had a 2-week turnaround from submission deadline to actually showing them, just because we had just such an overwhelming number of submissions rolling through. I mean, Alexander and I were talking, it's like, we got to find something better.
yeah, the entire support team was like trying to take turns like testing all the different games that were coming in. They're like, oh my gosh, we can't, like, there's just so many.
Yeah, we can't keep it up. So that's like super awesome, right? Like, we're
yeah,
really
that's the good kind of problem you want to have.
Absolutely. But we're going to try to, buckle down and get this, get the winners announced by the end of March so we don't spill into April, and then we'll move back to our normal cadence with that. Also, participation in the past, used to give you a subscription code so you could keep your month free. Now that we've gone free there, we've had to pull that away for participants. However, we're throwing more into the swag bags for people that win. So you'll still get the Game Jam T-shirt. We've got that contest is kind of up now, so we're looking through the final designs there and figuring out where we want to go forward with it. So you'll still get that shirt. Still owe your shirts to you, October. Sorry about that. As well as a few other things that we'll find and get kicked out to everyone. So definitely check that out. If you're new with us, this is a great way to get used to the tools. There's a lot of starting resources, and actually, Alexander pointed something out to me really great. User Iratech. And here,
oh yeah, this is so great.
Dropped a bunch of information in this thread about where you can, just some tips about getting started with a game jam. So really cool. Iratech has been, I think I'm saying that right, has done a number of these jams. They've submitted, I think, in all of them, maybe.
I want to say the majority at the very least. He really knows what he's talking about. This is some great advice for new people that have been around for a bit.
Oh, and he's in the chat.
Oh yeah, he's in the chat.
Awesome, great stuff.
But we just found, I woke up this morning, jumped on the forums and just browsing through. I'm like, oh wow, what a great resource this is.
Yeah, and so mentioned in this thread as well as Michael Aller comes through and streams all the games after they're done on Sunday night/Monday morning until the sun comes up. So if you do submit, you'll probably get highlighted by Aller, and then we will actually put your game into a video that we'll show whenever we announce the winners. So definitely something really cool to check out. If that's your thing, I'm gonna try to actually play this one if I'm in town. So that'll be the first one I actually get my hands on, which I've been really wanting to do for quite some time now.
Very exciting.
All right, and back to the regular scheduled Marketplace content releases. I think we missed last week and maybe the week before just because of GDC. But so most weeks we get these out to you. I can't say every week anymore since we've missed 2, but most weeks we get these out to you every week. And there's lots of cool stuff this time. John's got a very nice write-up here that you can read through up on our website. I'll spare a lot of those details and just get down to the goods here. So I've got the Steampunk Airchip by Jerome Pocher. This one's actually been, hotly wanted. It came across. It's really modular. Breaks down into tons of little pieces. You can build all kinds of different environments with it. So really cool stuff there. Nature Mega Pack by Manufacturer K4. More great stuff from Manufacturer.
Nice foliage. Very pretty.
Yeah. Landscape Material Pack by Alexander Krejkov. Man,
it's close enough.
Yeah. If you guys have ever tuned in before, you've heard me butcher some Eastern European names pretty hard.
Yeah, you
so.
got my name wrong before, so it's
All right. Hey, low five. Low five.
Low
All right,
five.
good stuff.
Okay.
So we have spline-enabled fence pack by Hostile Assets. I hope they don't hurt me. We've got character attribute system by Adam Wolf. And ultimate gray boxing kit by Strafe Jump Studios. Strafe Jump. What cheaters. Awesome. All right. So with that, we're going to move over to the community spotlight. And the first one we got up here is a game called Tiny Life. So I'm going to just pop up in the video and I'll watch it. It's a little bit longer, so I'm going to skip some of the intro. Whee. So yeah, Tiny Life is a UDK to UE4 conversion. Joe, are we getting sound out from the video? Just a little bit? All right, let me see if I can turn up just a tad bit. Oh, look at that. Magic. Oh, a thumbs up from Joe and everything. Yeah, Shelly's not here with us today, so Joe is doing his best to fill her shoes. So yeah, it's a UDK to UE4 conversion. It's set inside the human body. This is what last time I went inside of myself as a cell once, and I looked just like this. So this is hyper realistic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Actually,
this kind of reminds me of that Invader Zim episode where they go into the body.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's pretty great.
Well, it also reminds me of a previous what was it? Community Spotlight project we had where you're in a vein watching blood cells go by.
Ooh. And maybe that's like the new hot genre is like internalized like gameplay. It's pretty cool.
So yeah, there's two modes. There's exploration and arcade. They're creating it to where you can just kind of float around and go to different parts of the body. Or you can do arcade, which is a bunch of like tiny mini games, things like racing or defending type games, you know, stuff we used to see back in arcades that have to do with the human biology. So you're a tiny cell, and I like that. It's a lot of fun. All right, so definitely check that out. Let me follow the video real quick. And yeah, this is Evolution Nut. We've got a whole thread in here. You can come chat with them about it.
That's an appropriate name for someone making a game like this.
Yeah. Oh, and there's also Indiegogo for the game as well. So if you want to go throw your money at it, feel free, hop that direction. So really cool stuff from those guys. All right. Up next, we've got. Okay, this is really great. So Fighter5347 has, well, he has 4,600 posts on our forums.
Yeah, he's one of the most prolific posters. He's also one of the best moderators we got around too.
Yeah, yeah. Fighter's been around for quite some time.
Yeah.
He's even the UDK days, right? Like he's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
He's built a very large foliage starter kit that's available for you to freely download from the website, or from the forums actually. So, and he's updating it all the time. It's got breakdown of everything that's inside of it here, all kinds of different textures and meshes and things, and it's got showcase for the assets, how you can use the assets, seeing the guy walk, you know, through some of the flowers and him step on them and then they move. And yeah, Fighter is very, 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 very active in the forum. So if you download a spec, you got questions about it, he's sure to actually help you out. Give you tips, different ways he's working on stuff, and it's actually a long thread, I think.
Yeah, very generous of you. It's really cool. I remember watching that video of the guy walking, and my fiance's like looking at me like, "Why are you so fascinated with this guy walking in grass?" I'm like, "But the grass, look at it."
But he's blue guy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So yeah, this is just recently. This thread's been up for a little while now, but you know, even recently he's coming in here and showing how to bring things into your own project, answering questions from people in the community, and there's some shots of people using some of his stuff. So definitely go check that out. It's pretty cool. And then, last but not least, for Community Spotlight today, we've got Box Crusher by Lucas Baran or Innicide. So I was just before we get into the video, I was just talking to Ray about this. I was like, you know, my next pet project is going to be an Intelligent Cube type clone, and that is exactly what he's built. So it's basically, I don't know if anybody else has played the Intelligent Cube series from the PlayStation 1 era, but it's pretty awesome. Like, you basically are this little dude and you've got to destroy the gray boxes in his scenario and not the black boxes, and also not get squished. So you've got to lay traps like that can blow them up as the things move. You have to think like 4 steps ahead. It's kind of a cult classic puzzler game on PlayStation. Even a used copy now will run you like $60. So it's a tough one to find. That's one of the reasons I wanted to remake it, was because, you know, I wanted to play it again, because it's just fantastic game. And so now Lucas has given us this. It is actually available for download from his site. And he's actually updating. It looks like today's the 12th. He just put this up. Great.
Yeah, the third prototype.
So yeah, this just came up, I think, since I pulled this link. this morning to actually show today. He's actually put an update to it, so you can download the builds here, play them, give him feedback. Lucas has been in our community for quite some time. He's an engine contributor. Really cool stuff from that dude as well. So definitely check it out. All right, so with that, we're going to now move into the Elite Motion stuff. Pardon me while I move over to my computer while we're doing all this other stuff. All right, with that, yeah, we got Kate and Adrian on the line of Skype. Kate, you guys still there?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, cool.
Hey
Yeah.
guys.
Hey, welcome. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about what yourselves and what you guys do at Elite Motion?
Yeah, thanks for having us. Adrian, you want to kick things off?
Oh yeah. Pleasure being here. So I'm Adrian. I'm an engineer at Leapmotion. I work mainly with physical hand interactions in virtual reality, and also most recently with game engine integrations. So I've been working on this on our Leapmotion plugin for Unreal.
And I'm Kate. I'm on the front lines of community and content and social at Leap Motion. So I guess, Adrian, maybe you want to tell everybody sort of what drove us to build this thing in the first place?
So we have a fairly wide community of developers working with different platforms at Leapmotion. Also, recently we had this 3D game jam, and some of the entries were actually done using Unreal, and some of them also were using an independent plugin developed by Jan Kaniewski. That plugin actually does very good job of exposing Leap API to blueprints. But we still had like more and more actually requests from the community actually to make the entry barrier to using Leapmotion in your projects lower. So we wanted to create this plugin which just gives you immediate hand representation in your Unreal scene, in your Unreal project. And at the same time also we wanted to create official support for our technology with you guys.
And so this plugin is still very much evolving, but maybe you can go over sort of what you can do with it today at this time.
Right. So it's a fairly compact piece of functionality. The plugin just distills the Leap API and creates physical hands in the Unreal scene. Once you have the plugin running, all you need to do is just drag and drop a Leap Motion controller actor onto your scene, or alternatively, you can attach a controller component to your player character, for instance, and just start your scene. And as soon as you place your hands over the Leap device, the hands will be reflected in your scene. And also, if the controller is attached to your character controller, they will just move around with you around the scene. Now, the way it functions actually is such that it dynamically creates hand actors, and then for each of the bones of your hands, and create another actor, puts them in the world outliner in your scene, so you can find it easily. And also, rather than actually digging through Leap API, which might be harder to start, you can directly just query the Unreal objects for their positions and velocities, and there's no need to convert between Leap Motion space and Unreal Motion space. I think also people actually, when it comes to actually like modeling hands with rigid bodies, people also struggled with converting rotations a little bit. So this is all solved for you, and it's a big Kickstarter pretty much. Also, the hands have collision information associated with them, so you can immediately put some boxes in your scene, push them around, interact with them, swish them around. And then finally, it's meant to be extendable. So there's 3 basic classes that you can derive from either in C++ or in Blueprint, and we do have some simple demos that show how it's done.
And how do these guys get started?
So that's pretty simple. Unreal was going to include us in the 4.7 release, in the full source release. So we're right there. So when you have your once you get your engine from GitHub and compile it, just create a new project, open the Windows plugin dialog, and you'll find Leap Motion controller plugin over there. And then it's just as easy as I said earlier. It's just a single drag and drop of a controller object onto your scene.
Awesome.
Also, we have the few demos. I think that's actually included separately on our website, developer.leapmotion.com. There's I think there's the link to a few API demos that we have, and also a fairly good documentation. That will walk you through the functionality of the plugin, and also there's a couple of small tutorials that will actually talk about the demos we have there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that we've got a couple of them pulled down here too. So yeah, just to kind of I guess review. Right now, people can get started by pulling down the source for 4.7 that we've currently got up there, and we've got plans to make some edits to that. Right, like we're in the future, where are we going with the plugin? Are we bringing it to the binary? That's the plan, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I think we just before the 4.7 release, because there were so many new features. I think being put to 4.7, we didn't quite make it fully. There was we hit some problems with actually packaging projects. So it's not in binary yet, but it's intended for 4.8.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I know that a lot of times when we add a bunch of stuff, it's like, oh gosh, making sure all the other things work too at the same time.
Yeah,
so.
you add one little thing, everything else will start acting weird.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming on and give us a little bit of information. Alexander was going to go through and kind of show where we could get started, like on our monitor here. And just a reminder, anybody in the chat that's got questions for Leap, just drop those into the chat. We'll be collecting them, and we'll have the team answer them at the end of the stream today. So go ahead and do that. All right, Alexander.
All right. So if we look on the screen here, you'll see that we have the new blog post up here. Came out actually February 24th, but this is the Leap Motion plugin for UE4 blog post. Leap Motion wrote up some really nice stuff here, and you can watch we'll get more into this in a bit, the Hollow demo thing. But yeah, you can come in here and just read what they've got, and it'll take you to a nice link here, which will take you to here. And if you're not familiar with how GitHub works, this is a pretty simple, sign up, make sure your account's linked, go to our thing, and I'm actually not sure if this one has it. Yep, so this one doesn't actually have it linked up, but you can see on here, you'll have a branch down here. You can click that, and that'll take you to 4.7. Make sure you have that, and as long as you got 4.7, you'll be fine.
Yeah, so you'll have to have your GitHub account linked to your account.
Yep.
You can head up there, and you can just download the source. You don't have to run through a command line or anything. You
That's
can just
correct.
bring it down and compile from what that is.
Yep,
right?
you'll just click on the you'll just go in and click on the download button on the right, and then it all goes onto your computer, and you unpackage it there. And this is the official forum post we've got up on the forums under announcements and releases. Chance to
Oh
put it up.
yeah. So we've got a place you can actually come and chat. There's actually a lot of
Yep.
questions in here that have already been answered. So it's kind of a back and
Yeah.
forth. I think it's Joe. I think the guy's name's Joe at Leap. Is that who it is? Kate and Adrian that's been chatting in this thread. His name is JO3WA. Is there a Joe Ward there?
Yep. He's been answering a lot of questions there. I wasn't sure if he was official,
Okay.
with it, but he's
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff here. If you have any questions, come in here and start asking. We'll take a look into that. And then also, I also brought up the doc page just in case, but there is a full doc page in case you're having difficulty getting source code. You can just search our docs for Unreal Engine source code. And the other thing that I wanted to point out is if you go to the Leap Motion site, they have some fantastic Leap Motion Unreal plugin documentation, and this will explain to you again how to go through the steps.
So we got multiple outlets to find out all of the things to get running.
I absolutely wanted to point out that you've got plenty of places that you can search for it, and of course, worst case scenario, Google.
Yeah.
But yep, and then overview, and it'll have all this fantastic resources explaining to you exactly how to work with your vector math and whatnot, especially if you're doing forward mounted versus upward mounting. So with that,
Oh, I remember the first time I put a Leap Motion on an Oculus Rift headset, having to
yeah.
do that calculation, like all the vector math, like rotation, just because it has to be in a different space. That was fun, but that was years ago. So it's
Yeah,
I guess year and a half ago.
I'm a little too weak at vector math. Luckily, the Leap Motion, I believe, has a nice little checkbox.
Yeah,
that'll just be like,
that
this
handles
is
it for
forward
you now. Yeah, that's super
Yes.
super helpful.
Yeah, it's
Instead
pretty
of you
great.
going, okay, great. Normally you'd be heading this direction, but actually let's offset that by 90 degrees.
Yep.
Everything by 90 degrees.
Yep. So yeah, there you go. That's a great diagram to explain.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good cone of I guess interaction where you can reach out. It's is that about 3 by 3?
Not entirely sure.
Adrian? Yeah, is like the places the cone in which you can interact with your hands. It's about like a 3 by 3 box.
Oh, it's something like that. I think it's like more about 2 feet by 2 feet.
2 by 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
By 2
cool.
by
Yeah.
2, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and as you're saying, sometimes it's confusing actually figuring out actually the rotations and the positions of the spaces. So hopefully this will be just very very easy because the positioning of the controller object in your scene determines where your actual
Right.
physical device is. So your hands will move with it.
Yeah,
So
that's so much better than back in the day, just working off the SDK and taking vector information and then having to recalculate that if you wanted to rotate it at all. That was always a really fun.
Yes.
It was a fun challenge to actually overcome because you feel like you could do anything.
That's right.
But it's nice.
It's a little bit hard. Yeah, so our intention was just to get the small developers actually to get started straight away without doing all this, because it does take a couple of hours to figure things out. But yeah, also just want to encourage again, if you guys have any problems, just let us know, the community, let us know straight away, because our intention is just to make it simple to use.
Like I said before, community.leapmotion.com is a great place to ask questions. You can also reach out to us directly via email at developers@leapmotion.com, or I'm always on the line on our social channels on Twitter, and we also have a Twitch channel that we broadcast every Tuesday at 5 p.m.
Oh, right
Pacific
on.
time. So there's lots of ways to get in touch with us, so don't hesitate to reach out.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, it's funny. Our Tuesday streams end like around, I guess it would be about 3 o'clock your time. So be like, hey, just stay around for the Leaf one that's happening.
Yeah, it's pretty new. It's a pretty new thing for us still, but we've been doing a lot of VR related content, and so we're really excited to continue developing content there.
No, that's awesome. That's great.
really cool. Yeah, we should definitely coordinate that.
All right, Alex, take us through it.
All right, back onto the screen here. I'm gonna go and minimize this, and I'm gonna bring up the launcher real fast because, first of all, I want to point out, because Chance wanted to point this out too, is a multiplayer shootout right here under the Learn tab, and pretty cool. You guys can go download that right now and give it a shot on 4.7. And then down here, you'll notice we have a nice new fancy Leap Motion UE4 thing, and if you click it, it will take you to this page here. Which, again, look at that, look, one button, click, you got it. All right.
One button, got it, click. Oh, from the Learn tab?
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, so this is one of the,
Sorry,
Whoa.
I'm looking away, grabbing things from chat.
oh, okay.
Forgive me, Alexander.
You're great.
I meant not to forsake you.
No, you're fine. Now, I've got, I grabbed this here, and I'm actually gonna see if I can't paste that into chat. I cannot. But I grabbed this demo here that we're looking at, and you can see it's just a bunch of boxes. They're all physics objects. And I actually, originally they're just physics objects. I actually turned them all into blueprints so I could do something with them, just a little silly. But there's a nice pack, and I'm gonna have someone post a link up to it that has a bunch of great little demos for stuff that's pre-built, including pre-made hands and all kinds of really nice stuff. And what I'm going to show you here is just the basics of what it looks like. See, it's nice and colorful. I want to add some color there. And so there's my hand, and this is really my hand, you know. Woo! The future! Ah! And then, yeah, just slam! I've been waiting to do that all day, by the way. Just, I feel like my cat at home when I put too many things up, you know.
This is what it looks like every
Yeah.
time I come into y'all's office.
Yeah, when he comes in here, I actually have a personal one of my own that it sits on my desk, and I have a guy who has a Oculus, and I'm gesturing, and I have a guy on my team that has an Oculus, and also the Leap Motion, and oop, I put my hand out, and yeah, and he likes to totally mess with this stuff. There's like an arcade demo that we go around and
Do you
poke
throw
on.
stuff at him in VR? Like he's
I-
wearing it and you throw things at his face?
Yeah, actually, we've done quite a few really stupid things. We're like, oh, it's the future, and then we'll do some really fun, goofy stuff where we get something colorful and just toss it.
Oh, there you go.
Smack. And this is actually crazy fun on its own, but it's
Yeah.
sort of like being in a ball pit when
I
you're a
wonder.
little kid.
I wonder if we can pause. Keep your hands back out there again.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
real quick. Just all right. Yeah. So can you navigate around and take a look at what those are?
Yeah, so you'll
If
see
it'll
that.
let us. Oh, here. Hit eject.
Oh, eject.
Shift F1.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
This guy, he knows what he's doing.
I don't know. There you go. Yeah. So just take a look. Yeah. Roll out and take a look at those hands.
So, oh yeah, so that ball is actually my camera. And
That's
then,
you,
And
yeah.
then these hands just generate for you as you're using.
And so it follows the bones of your hands. Adrian, can you tell us about like what data is being sent over for those hands?
Mm-hmm. So all we really need to do is Leap Motion just sends over frames of information, and all we're taking from that essentially is just for each hand, we're just taking positions and orientations of each bone, and then what the plugin does, as I mentioned earlier, is just converts it to the Unreal space. Also, it does also when it creates the model, it adjusts the sizes of the bones so they match actually your fingers. And that's really all it does in a nutshell at the moment. Collision is just done with the simple capsule shapes here. Yeah, that's pretty much that's pretty much that. There's one other demo I think which also shows rigging of use of rigged mesh. I'm not sure if you guys have it, but that's something actually that people can look at. So you can use the information of those rigid body bones to drive a skinned human-like mesh of a hand.
Yeah, and get just one step closer into the creepiness of the uncanny valley.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I feel like
Yeah.
I could play piano pretty well, actually.
And so so this was pulled down directly from the Learn tab, right?
So yeah, if you click the Learn tab, it will take you right to the link for the download. It's actually really rather straightforward at that point, where you just click the download. There's a download button on the right of that page, and then you just extract a zip file.
Yeah, can you pull up that page real quick? Just take a look at what else is up there.
One more time.
Since you have the mouse and keyboard, I would do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, friends.
I'm kind of the boss right now.
I'm sorry for telling you what to do.
All right, let's see here. So
Yeah, so that was pretty much like a starting point. I think that the controller object has some very basic properties you can use. Like you can scale the hands, put them where you want. You can replace, I think, the basic visual shapes which are used for the hands. And
Let's see what we got here. Alexander's fiddling on the staging screen.
it's strange. The link is different.
just let me throw in a few words of what we're intending to put in a little bit later. We did also experiment with actual ways to hold objects. That's a little bit less trivial than just than collisions, and we'll try to add some ways to actually hold objects, interact with them, stretch them, possibly. That's one next plan. And I think we've also had a good bit of request from community to add our image pass-through functionality. So this is
Okay.
also one we'll try that fairly soon. This way you'll be able to use the hands with VR headset and actually change the experience to augmented reality with the image pass-through from our device.
Awesome. So I'm going to roll in here and try to get a little bit closer. So yeah, this is the demo pack, shows a bunch of the different things and clapping. Nice. Hey guys.
I love that you shoot and then you wave. It's like, oh, hi there,
Yeah.
buddy.
No, it
And-
also reminds me of Bioshock. We had like the
Mhm.
Bioshock 2, and they gave you both hands to use at the same
yeah.
time.
And so you'd have like one.
So
kinda
yeah,
like
yeah,
sitting
yeah.
around. That would actually be fun to play Bioshock 2 with the hands out like this.
I know.
But yeah, if you click on that, you'll get into this, and then you can just click right on like the demo pack, and it'll take you into the full source plus demo pack download. I would suggest getting the demo pack because it really helps you to understand the basics and just dive right in and see what they've done and see what you can do. So
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So with that too, let me hop out of here real quick. I know I have all the things open right now. So many windows. All right. So yeah, on that as well, there's the Hollow project with Leap Motion. You can actually download it from itch.io or the Leap Motion site. It seems this is available on that developers page, right?
this one.
Yeah, it's on developer.leapmotion.com.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, examples gallery.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is a project that's actually in development. I've been chatting with some of the devs on email for the last few weeks or so, but yeah, it's using the Oculus Rift and the Leap Motion to make little triangular, I guess, little pyramids for hands, but it's like a Sleepy Hollow type deal where you're actually making fists and you got a horse, which is kind of great.
Yeah, my mom is not allowed to see this because she would just be like, "Oh, I want to play the horse riding game all day." And
Can you imagine? I'm gonna roll in. I'm gonna roll down to y'all's little, dead area, and it's just gonna be Alexander at his computer with his leap on,
just like all of us like waving our hands in the air, galloping around.
There's some really cool stuff in here. It's a little bit longer of a video, so I'm gonna try to scoot over to like where he grabs the lantern. I saw that, and I was like, oh, that's super cool.
Yeah. I like the use of pyramids. Whenever I was kind of playing around and testing, I was using boxes, and this is actually kind of neat.
Let's see, where is it? See some Legend of Zelda like this when you're riding Epona
Oh man,
through the fields of Hyrule.
nostalgia. That even looks kind of like Hyrule.
Whoa,
So
whoa, whoa, he says. Don't run off that
So-
cliff.
Yeah, so are you guys playing this from YouTube at the moment? Or,
Yeah, it's on YouTube right now.
I think this is actually the older version. So the pyramids are usually what people do by default.
Okay.
They just use positions of the bones rather than actually full orientations.
Okay, cool.
So actually, with their newer version, actually they got proper like skeleton-like hands in there that
great.
properly, and that's also one of the it's kind of a subtle problem to get the rotations properly, but it's quite important for your physical interactions, like for friction on objects to work well.
Right.
So that's something that usually comes up a little bit later in development.
Cool. Well, anyway, this is super cool. So yeah, what are the things that you guys are seeing, Leap team, that are like inspiring to you guys? Like, how are people using the tech in ways that you wouldn't necessarily expect?
yeah, you guys just did a game jam and all that, so you should have a lot now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we were really our 3D game jam was not explicitly VR, but an overwhelming amount of the submissions were VR, and I think that it sort of begs this question of sort of high fidelity 3D motion control for VR is still this major missing link, and I think that right now that a lot of the inspiring projects that I'm seeing, as well as the examples we're developing internally, are in the VR space, and I think barreling forward in the next 2 to 5 years, sort of AR as well. But we've seen in the other realm that I feel like is really interesting is sort of the medical sphere rehabilitation. We had in our accelerator last year, we had some really interesting rehabilitation, sort of gamifying rehabilitation with VR and motion control. So that's really interesting as well. Adrian, I don't know if you have any standouts.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working. I've been playing quite a bit with different aspects of emotion. As I said, I was working a lot on hand interaction. So actually, after playing with different ways of interact with the virtual scene with your hands, I remember going to IGF and whatever game I would see, I would just try to wave my hands in front of the computer first, and I'd be like, whoa, a little bit disappointed actually that I cannot interact with the scene. So actually, putting the hands in the physical world, physically simulated world, is really pleasurable, very kind of like a visceral feeling. one thing which I think is really cool is that you can use our hands pretty much to directly interact with the scene and move objects, and actually like in the nearest future. One thing I'd like to work on is being able to use our technology to do like simple scene setup rather than actually using mouse and keyboard. Sometimes you can just you would just be able to move over to your scene and grab elements of the scene, walls or boxes, and move them around with your hands, which might be a bit more quicker, maybe well suited for kind of rapid prototyping or design.
The other realm that I actually think is really interesting is music composition and performance. Sort of what does it mean to compose in 3D space or teach music theory in 3D space? And you know, we had a guy who sort of he with one leap on one computer he controlled certain aspects of his music. On the other hand, he had like video projections on the wall that he was also controlling with leap, and so it added this physicality that he have had before with just pressing buttons or turning knobs, and so that's really interesting to me too, sort of the performative aspect. But I think that these are still, you know, the early days of these sort of emerging interfaces, and so that's the fun of what we get to do, you know, to explore the new frontier of this.
Yeah, definitely with music especially, it's like a digital theremin, right? Like if you're familiar with those are the creepy
I was trying to remember what they're called.
Yeah,
you know, this is like a metal stick, and you just wave your hands around.
I have friends that play Moog theremins, and this is like something that you could emulate all kinds of different. You could control basically anything with it, right? By having that space, just changing vectors over time. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I spoke to a professor from Berklee College of Music earlier last week, and he's been incorporating the Leap Motion into his curriculum in terms of exploring composition and sort of as an instrument in and of itself. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's good things, yeah. But like after last week's GTC again, also like I just realized that hand control fits so well in the VR space. There's some amazing demos showed by I guess Oculus and Nvidia, but very often I find myself actually wanting to reach out into the scene and interact with elements there and grab objects, and Leap Motion actually makes it possible.
Cool. Well, all right. Yeah, we're getting a little close on time here. So you guys wanted to mention where people can find out more information?
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned a little bit earlier, but just to reiterate, you know, the evolution of this plugin is really going to be contingent upon the feedback that you guys give us. So please keep in touch with us on community.leapmotion.com or developers@leapmotion.com or any of our social channels, and let us know what you'd like to build, what features you'd like to see. We are really good about integrating feedback into builds, and so I'm all ears. Adrian, anything to add?
Nope.
No?
That sounds good, actually.
Well, yeah, and you guys are moving at a pretty quick pace, right? And improving the tech. I mean, Leap Motion's not very old, right? I mean, you guys have been around for what, just a couple of years?
We launched July 2013.
Wow, that's awesome.
We've been around for, so not super long, but we're I saw in the chat room earlier we are on our we launched our V2 software last year. So
company's like 4 years old now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it just keeps getting better. Lots of cool stuff there. So, with that we can hop into some questions and answers. I know you guys have the list in front of you as well. If you want to pick some from there, and let us know.
Okay. Sorry. Can't quite see them. Can you see them actually?
Yeah, it should be at the bottom of the doc you got.
Oh.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah.
Sorry.
So, do we deliver to Belgium? Oh, and it's possible to use. So, do we also deliver to Belgium? And is it possible to use Leap to build blueprints? I don't know whether the first one.
We
do.
Yeah,
Okay,
we have a global web store,
So. We do have fairly big I think distribution network in Europe also, and yes, as for using blueprints, so the plugin is written, it exposes some functionality, some properties to blueprints, and you can just directly derive from it. And then the controller actually lets you the controller in its detail pane lets you specify which exact derived implementations to use. So you can very quickly just add your functionality and use it with the plugin. Another question is there any EU4 content on the Leap Motion App Store?
The demo projects.
Yeah, I
That's
know
the-
there's like the airspace. Is it called Airspace or the place you can get things? I don't know
It's
if
just
you
the Leap Motion. It's just the Leap Motion App Store.
Okay.
And yeah. And we have the examples are all in the developer gallery. So it's developer.leapmotion.com. And yeah, you'll be able to filter examples by language or engine. So it's pretty easy to navigate.
Okay, I'll go with the next one. So the next question is, how married to the predefined hand collision volumes is the plugin? And does your map depend on them? And can we map our own collision volumes to hand movement readings without digging into the source? Again, the plugin has this dedicated class called Leap Motion Handbone, and that has that class has a few components. One of them is the visual mesh. One of them is I think it's called a primitive component, which does the collision. You can just derive from this class disable the original components and add any of your own, pretty much. But you can do this either deriving in a blueprint or deriving in a C++. So yeah, you can customize it. You can customize it in a blueprint, and the way it's done. So our actor's position and orientation relates to actually the frontmost part of your bone, so like the tip of your finger. So knowing this, pretty much you can just reorient your own collision volume in that actor, and that should work for you.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks.
Now the next question is, what's the latency lag between making the gesture and seeing it happen?
It's pretty low. It depends on your setup. Honestly, obviously the more robust of machine you have, the less latency you see. I don't know if you have any.
I haven't
more
worked
technical-
on the fastest machine, but in Leap Motion generally just supports frame I think at about almost 100 frames per second.
As long as your setup is within our sort of the specs that we list on our website, you should be good in terms of performance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, and also on that too, what Alexander and I, while we were setting up here, we had like a super long USB cable.
Yep.
So with that, we would probably drop a frame or two because it's just got to send information. The signal's getting a little lighter.
Yep.
So
definitely noticed that the second that we just got a longer kind of basic Leap USB
Yeah.
cord and plugged it in, it was much faster
Yeah,
than using the kind of daisy chain we had
yeah,
going.
yeah, we had some hacked together thing here.
Wow.
So if you do see some latency, it might be that there is, that you're using like a poorly created USB extender. The one we have here now works fantastic.
Yeah, the other one was rather cheap. So.
Yeah.
And experiencing any weirdness with a particular head-mounted display, reach out to us. Obviously it's still an emerging field, and so we can kind of work with you and troubleshoot and see what might be going on, because sometimes when there's multiple plugins or there could be a lot of things going on. So I'm happy to work one-on-one with you guys if you have specific latency issues that you're encountering that shouldn't be there.
Alrighty. This is one other question. Is there a reason that hands movements isn't being interpolated? Not sure exactly how it look. Maybe it's referring to the latency at the moment that we're seeing on the screens. But if that's not a problem, then actually the hands movement actually is interpolated. The way it's done in the Unreal scene is that your hands are modeled with rigid bodies that do collide with other objects but don't get actually influenced, so they're kind of keyframed, and they're keyframed with velocities. So actually, so they will again create proper reaction on physical impact. And
Yeah, and then the last question is just about the V2, which I sort of already went over. And so that the V2 is referring to our software, which is available if you just update your software. If it didn't auto update, you will have the latest version. So yeah, that's you can get that on our website if you haven't downloaded the latest version. It's constantly evolving. So.
What? Yeah, you two are constantly evolving a piece of software? Crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, I never heard anything like this.
Well, that's awesome. So yeah, that about does it for the most of them. I think we pretty much covered it there.
I actually have a question.
Oh, Alexandra has a question.
I've actually been very interested in the development of. I wanted to use multiple leaps, and I heard that there was something being done for that, maybe, but I'm not sure. It was just a rumor on the forums, but I wanted to have a couple of leap motions and kind of triangulate using them. Wasn't sure if there's anything going on with that.
Yeah, it's been a really common request since the very, very beginning, and I think it's just about. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't been involved too much with this, but there's lots of ways to approach the problem. So I think it's sort of about approaching it in the most elegant way. And I don't know if you have anything to add on top of that.
Well, I mean, we've done some tests internally with multiple devices, but we haven't gotten into to anything that's releasable yet. And that actually indeed works great. As for using multiple devices side by side, also I think I've seen some interesting projects at SIGGRAPH actually last year. But that's something that was rather hard. Leap Service at the moment supports only single device, so we've seen this we've seen this. This project where there were, I think, several virtual machines, each one connected to having a service connected to a different leap machine, connected to a different leap device, and altogether actually there were like 6 leaps spanning a larger interaction space. But there's nothing that we support out of the box.
We want to do it right, so
Yeah.
Totally. That's awesome to hear, though. That's great.
Well,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Cool. So, well, yeah. Any last, any last suggestions or anything you guys got?
Speak now, or we'll see you on the internet.
Yeah. Well, everybody should know how to find you now. We've got, all the links to your stuff. We'll also have this in a recap blog that we'll be putting out. So we'll add those links to the places people can get help and all this stuff. So thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been great. Tech didn't break on us. Everything
Yay.
went great.
Yeah.
So I feel good.
It's been fantastic meeting you.
Yeah, really appreciate you taking the Skype maiden voyage with us. So it's been a great time.
Pleasure, guys. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, and thank you, audience. Joe, if you can flip back over here. Thanks, audience, for hanging out with us. There's a monkey on the table. Again, Shelly's not here yet. The monkey still shows up. No, so thanks for hanging out with us. We'll definitely be back next week. We've got I think it's a support stream next week. We don't have the topic nailed down yet. I need to talk to Sean.
Yep, I'm going to join him today.
But Thursday on the 19th, we've got I believe I've talked to him about it. We haven't made a post about it, so don't hold it against me if I'm wrong. But I believe we've got Bill Cladis and Tim Mellick to come on here and talk about some really great VFX stuff. So if you're a Cascade or a VFX guy, you want to get some time to chat with some people and see some cool stuff.
Yeah, they're the heavy hitters.
Do not miss that one. It's going to be great. So look out for that soon. Game Jam next week as well. And yeah, I guess we'll see you on next time. Thanks, Alexander, for coming and hanging out with us, dude.
Yeah,
it's
thanks.
good stuff. All right, take care, everyone.